Hey guys, so I decided to make another video. We're gonna talk about some more things, more on the controversy, Teal Swan, the deep end, and all that stuff. I'm gonna make another video, and I'll tell you why. I thought it was done for the day talking on this, but so I feel like I keep just when I think I'm out of one rabbit hole, I go down another. And but before I start with that, may I give a safe suggestion for people who want to heal? There's so many books out there, but Louise Hay, You Could Heal Your Life. This is about 30-year-old book or something like that. Beautiful woman, beautiful spirit, some good stuff in there. So many different things. My daughter has this book as well, and stuff. But there's, just she covers so many things. Relationships, to be able to love the self. Some beautiful things. And let me just even read this. Spirit wants me to read this, I guess, because I popped to it. In the infinity of life where I am, all is perfect, whole, and complete. My life is ever new. Each moment of my life is new and fresh and vital. I use my affirmative thinking to create exactly what I want. This is a new day. I am a new me. I think differently. I speak differently. I act differently. Others treat me differently. My new world is a reflection of my new thinking. It is a joy and a delight to plant new seeds, for I know these seeds will become my new experiences. All is well in my world. What a beautiful spirit. Louise Hay, you can heal your life. Go put it on your Kindle, go order a book. Hay House always has it. Pretty much, it shouldn't be very expensive. Get a used copy, whatever. But I encourage you guys reading good authors, that have wonderful experience and everything. Obviously, Dr. Wayne Dwyer is also excellent, and everything. I just maybe let me read the back. I've written this book to share what I know with you, my readers. It incorporates portions of my little book, Heal Your Body, which has become widely accepted as an authoritative work on mental patterns that create diseases in the body. If you do the exercises and you can heal your life progressively as they appear, by the time you finish, you will have begun to change your life. I suggest you read through the book once, then slowly read it again. But this time, do each exercise in depth. If you can, work through the exercises with a friend or family member. Know that when you work with these ideas, my loving support is with you. So there's this is a good, like, healthy kind of self-help if you're looking for some good stuff to work with. So I wanted to throw out at least a suggestion, at least something there. Like I said, my path was very different and stuff, and this is even one of the reasons I also encourage people, kind of, go with various things. But a lot of really, even with my path, is certain things, really uprooting those negative seeds or thoughts, maybe that are not our own, that we kind of recognize even, in basic meditation. Hey, maybe, this negative self-talk is not me, but maybe things that were said to me in the past. Maybe somebody kind of planted a seed. Maybe my mom said something. Maybe some, bad kid in school said something and everything, and it became my self-talk. And we have the power. We can change our mind. We can change our thoughts. So one of the things, I know the power of mind and how we can make it better, and stronger and more positive, and be at peace and have a good, internal dialogue. Or if we want to shut off the entire internal dialogue, and just have a nice, quiet, peaceful mind, that we have the ability to do that. So many power things. So I definitely look to authors and spiritualists that are of the light, of course. Like I said, Wayne Dyer, oh my heart, I remember finding him on, say, like, PBS, a long time ago, and his spirit and everything like that, just a very kind and just such a beautiful man, such a beautiful spirit. So there's so many good spiritualists out there. I see that's another thing that is so disheartening to me, I guess, that I can't stop sitting here focused on it, is I know there's so many good people, so many good books, so many good healers, people that I met over the years that really want to help people and things like that, and have good ways, good methods, and stuff to be able to help people. So I wanted to at least give a suggestion, if anybody's out there struggling, at least start with that book. That's it, it's great. It's profound. There's a lot of good affirmations, and a lot of in affirmations, I even know that can be powerful. Just kind of saying that, just like I was saying to somebody in a reading today, even saying I am, just as simple. Just I want you to kind of sit with that, like I am. Okay, it almost awakens that little bit of a divine in there. It, like, whoa, something just woke up at me and stuff, and stuff. Just even kind of saying that, just how powerful, that sentiment can be. Okay, there's so many things, but yes, I've been taken down a very dark rabbit hole. Okay, and it's so important, speak up, and I'm not trying to come at you guys, especially as some know-it-all authority. I really try to be that, but I do have a lot of experience, in everything. I've got a real good insight about certain things, but there's good things coming through this, because those things that are done in the dark will come to the light. That's the way it is, and I know how the spirit is, in a sense. I've always seen it, and I've warned people of it. Okay, especially if I saw anybody, if I've ever seen any kind of spiritualists that are they're flipping in an area they should not. And so, just like, over the years, I've even encountered, I've encountered wonderful readers, wonderful, good, honest readers with integrity, and a lot of them are on my team, right? But there are times, people have, come in and they don't have the greatest intentions. Like maybe it's all about the money, or maybe it's, all that stuff. Okay, and stuff. And I've warned them. I don't think you understand the karma. Okay, that you're playing with fire if you mess around. Okay, and you betray the spirit that way. You need to be in alignment with spirit here and stuff. There's so many things that I can have a big old talk about that, but spirit will expose. That's what they do and stuff. So you need to be, very honest, real, have integrity on this path. It is very important, especially when people are coming to you and trust you and things. I really respect that and everything, and all that. And I know also how this field is. There are some people who don't believe in what we do. Hey, that's okay. Your mileage may vary. You don't have to believe in what I do. And so that is okay. But there are those obviously who do believe, in spiritual healing, psychics, Reiki, and all that. Just like today when I was reading for Reiki Master, I kind of turned my iPad around. There's my credentials. Okay, just showing you. I love Reiki, and it's very powerful. But I don't even do that as a service, because I will tell you, I'm one of those people who was like, I definitely, before I would even go in charge or anything like that, I would definitely want to have more time under my belt before I would even go there. So I'm always, just like even before, certain things with reading relate, where I really got in busy. And so I took a long time and a lot of work, practice and things like that before it took a major leap into it. Okay, which is real important. So many people are ready to rush, into something like this, and it's like you don't know what you're getting into, okay? Because especially when you get readings, you may have some very, challenging situations. You have very emotional situations, and you've got to be able to handle those things and stuff. And of course, you need to be accurate, and stuff as much as possible. Nobody can be accurate 100% of the time, though. It's going to happen. Maybe I just misread the cards. It's going to happen and stuff. And if you're not accurate, you need to own up and take responsibility. So much. So I can say a whole lot on that. But let's talk about this. Listen, I know I ramble. But I hope a few of you at least out there are interested in what I have to say. Okay, I got my coffee. I know it's like, what time is it? It's almost 10 o'clock at night, but I took a little nap, so I want to perk up while I'm talking. And hopefully I won't talk too fast, because once I get on the caffeine, I can get going. Okay. So I know I can talk a little fast. That's a little bit of an issue I have sometimes. Anyway, so this video, I'm going to link it in this video. It's also in community. This is, if anybody is investigating, the deep end, Teal Swan, they want some facts, info, what is happening, okay, and stuff. And if anybody's been a follower at a certain time, and I'm especially, I would love to reach those people too, because I have been, there's a few coming to me right now, just they're starting to begin. If you're kind of following, reading your stuff and everything, at first thought, things were hunky-dory here, and then and you were like, oh my god, what is happening here, okay, and stuff. the video, and let me get the name of it. It says 1607 Growing Up with Teal Swan, Diana Hansen Ribera. Okay, this video, and I'm not sure, it's on Mormon Studies podcast, and I'm not sure the name of the doctor. I'm sorry, I have to get his name and all that. But there, he's an actual PhD, comes from the Mormon Church. Remember, a lot of this has happened in Utah and stuff like that. And so anyway, this woman, she grew up, knew her as a child and things like that. So she got an eye view of certain things that a lot of people have not. And but also her experiences in certain ways, she was traumatized from this experience and stuff. And I hope this was, I felt for this woman. I mean, the tears, the what she's been through. And I hope that even that podcast could have been a very healing venture. She's been talking to this man for a long time. This woman has been through so much and stuff. She's definitely been through a lot of trauma, and there was a lot of things. It was a very kind of spooky connection, okay, with her. Okay, that certain things, and there's another young lady kind of talking and giving her perspective, but they're giving the whole scoop. Okay, but yes, this video was sent to me by a few people, and I watched. There's just a little bit at the tail that I still need to catch, but I finally just said I got to get up, I got to talk, I can't take it anymore. And it's about 3.5 hour video. I know you're gonna go, oh my God, are you serious? It's worth it. It's worth it and stuff. Kind of pause it if you can't watch it all in one thing, because I know it's hard to sit down and watch it on one thing. Pause it, come back to it. If you got to watch it over a few days, the information is incredible, and it really they cover a whole lot of topics. Okay, a whole lot of topics, which I'm not even going to monetize this video because I don't, YouTube probably ain't going to let me do it. But certain things, especially repressed memories. Teal Swan's therapist, I believe, was Diana Snow, who definitely got in trouble for some things like this. But there's a whole lot, even in that state and stuff, that back in the day there were a lot of psychologists, okay, who actually believed, and even this poor guy had to get trained on certain things when he was studying, and that they really believed that these satanic abuse things were real. Okay, and dreadful stories were coming out, which I know there's going to be still people that believe it, and this happens all the time. This happens all the time. Obviously we know a lot. Save the Children and all these things, the very QAnon, all that stuff. There's so many different kind of things there. But you know what? If I could just kind of lay it bare on some things, because a lot of these things, when they've tried to look, find no evidence, but we do find evidence in the Catholic Church, right? Okay, we do find evidence in churches, okay, or the indigenous children, okay, that are buried under these various places where they were taken away from their families and put in churches and had their hair cut and were abused, and the horrible things that happened to them. Okay, that they're all okay. There's your abuse. There's your devil. There's your devil. Okay, just say it. Just want to throw it out there. Okay, so we could accuse the little guy with the horns for everything, but you need to look there. Okay, because that's all being laid bare there. People are looking for all this secretive stuff, and it's all right there for your face. Come on, open your eyes. Okay, what has the Catholic Church been doing for all these years? Okay, you think they're still not hiding the pedophile priests? Of course they are. Okay, of course they are. And we just had the Southern Baptist Convention come out. There's this whole document, of about 700 cases of abuse. Okay, it just, it frustrates me, you guys. I know it frustrates the spirit. It makes me angry. It makes me, I get so frustrated, especially when you combine any kind of religion and spirituality with this stuff and you put it together. It is a recipe for disaster. It is 10 times magnified. Okay, the reason why, of course, is because in these, and let me close that because it's gonna run my battery. In these situations, okay, say spirit should be your safe space. Spirit should be your trust. You should be able to do that. I know the power of that. Knowing my loving parent spirit. Okay, and then so to put these things together, okay, can put somebody in a dark place, and they can even doubt the spirit even exists, or so many different things. It can be very lost, alone and stuff. Where was God in this? What is happening? All this stuff. Very, very scary, sad place. Okay, so these things anger me like you would not believe and stuff, that when these things happen, when churches and things have done these stuff. But yeah, if you want to find your little horns and your, things of sexual abuse or ritual and things like that, go to the churches. Okay, I know that's a hard thing to say, but that all the evidence goes there, right? You can't find it. Where's the horns? Where's the people in the cloaks and they're throwing babies in this and they're in the church? Okay, they've been pointing that way, getting you to look somewhere there, and it's been there all along. I'm sorry, that's the truth. That's the truth and stuff. It's a very sad thing. And stuff. I'm not saying there may be a few little weirdos who maybe some get a little pentagram and do weird things. Of course, we know there's some weird people, okay, but the majority of these things are really happening like that, and that's unfortunate. Because think about it. Think about it. If people can cloak themselves in as a trusted pastor or a priest or various things like that, okay, and stuff, that's a real easy way to manipulate someone, okay, and stuff, where somebody who's coming off dark and horns and everything is going to scare people away, okay. So this is happening much more in that area, okay, hiding in plain sight, okay, than that. And that's just a sad truth. And I know it's a sad thing that we don't want to face. We don't want to look at that. But there, unfortunately, a lot of times, and it's incredibly sad that people maybe go to church and they're looking for God and they're looking for, healing and support and all that. And I'm not saying, of course, it happens all. I know there's good churches. I know there's good churches, guys. So don't get me wrong. But there are people that walk into that and stuff. And there are people that take on those positions and abuse their power because they can. Okay? And it's just, it's a sad reality that we've got. And also, if you watch that video and stuff, there are psychologists, okay, who have abused their power. And a lot of this is this repressed memory. See, this whole thing with the deep end teal swan has opened a can of worms that is a little even bigger, okay, than just even her, okay, and stuff. But she's kind of set her stage, but bringing about topics that people need to start to be aware of, okay, and stuff. But even to the point where psychologists and psychiatrists or whatever, people that are supposed to be in the therapeutic medical field have done things like been very suggestive, to the point where they've actually done more damage by putting memories in people's minds, which I know some of you, there might be a few on the fence that can even be done, but it can be there. And if you listen to this woman in her interview, because some of this stuff was messing with her mind real bad, okay, and stuff, you will see that people could get all paranoid. Well, maybe something did happen. Maybe I was sexually abused. Well, maybe and stuff like that. Maybe I'm just not aware of it, because that's a lot of what Teal was doing to her itself, was messing with her mind like that. Okay, maybe you're just not aware of it being very suggestive, because we have locked memories and this and that and all this stuff. Okay, so there's and it can put somebody, well, maybe maybe my dad did this, or maybe and it can really confuse people. And the people who have done this, therapists, psychologists, and things like that, who have done these things, have really messed up a lot of minds and stuff. And I know a lot of you are probably like, oh my God, am I safe to go to a therapist? Am I safe to go to a church? Am I safe to look at any spiritual teaching? What am I going to do? I know it can make you feel very isolated and alone. But don't worry, there is help. There is help out there. Okay, there's still good people out there. But you just, you gotta, this is a day we gotta be educated. We got to be educated. We got to be informed, because there's obviously many people are vulnerable out there. There are people that are really good. Like I said, Louise, hey, I want to give you guys a good suggestion. Okay, all right. And there's other great books that can really kind of inspire and help people. But unfortunately, there are wolves in sheep's clothing and stuff. So let's talk about that video. Oh my God, you guys. There's so much, and that's why I really encourage you guys. I'm so glad it was suggested to me. Where's the selenite one? I did this earlier. It's heavy stuff. It's even for me and stuff. I could feel a lot of anger. I feel a lot of frustration and stuff. But the things this woman went through, her childhood friend and stuff is so incredibly disheartening, and stuff. That there's a very damaged, person, that's running around there trying to take over the world and be healer here. Okay, but is it, like I said, she's very concerned about it, especially too, because of even though she knows how she impacted her. Now let me talk about a couple things. One of the things when I talk about just my very last video, if anybody saw it, check the deep end gaslighting and all that stuff. That I got that vid. One of the things about that, I did state and everything is I don't feel she wants to harm people, but let me put it this way. But of course I feel she is. Okay, absolutely. I feel, and that's why I said the road to hell is paved with good intentions. I have this there's I feel she's kind of fallen into some very susceptible illusions. Okay, very illusions. And I almost wonder if something, there is a negative entity attached. I'll be honest with you at this point. I almost feel, but, that there could be something dark attached to this. Okay. But I do feel like, I believe that she believes she's helping people. Okay. And that's especially what I want to express. I believe she believes she's helping people. I believe she believes it because, and maybe it is this, like I said, I don't want to dwell too much on certain things she said and claims. I try to be very careful with that. But could this, a psychologist have put things in her mind that she really sees the world in this way? Okay, most likely, okay, is what my feels are kind of and stuff. Is certain things the way impacted her, but then she's already having kind of weird, even if you look at the childhood, certain kind of, ideas, illusions, and things like that. There's even a little bit of talk about that she had Ouija boards in the house. Now I know what a Ouija board can do because it could definitely drudge up some stuff. Okay, it can definitely drudge up some stuff that doesn't go away. Okay, unless you banish it. There's all kind of weird stuff like that. Okay, guys. So definitely we were meddling with dark areas and stuff. And when you stare into the abyss, it's gonna stare back into you. That's just you shouldn't go in those areas. But anyway, so going down that rabbit hole with her experiences was very dark and very traumatic. Now, one of the things I also kind of feel, when I was tuned into, really listening to her story, I think of somebody that's kind of young and going through she had, her own kind of mental issues and stuff, and her, Teal did, and try to have her family get help. And then this young lady was going through things, but also, the thing is, even then, it seemed that Teal was very suggestive to her. A lot of this stuff about, she was definitely, it's almost like she was trying to mess with repressed memories with her as well. Well, maybe you were abused, or maybe you're this, and you just don't remember because, all that stuff she was doing to her. Okay, she was, it's almost like she's her first client, but she's an unwilling client. Let's put it that way. And so it's almost like we go to patient zero, okay, when this woman is talking. And that's why it's real important for you guys to watch this. Okay, it's almost like we go to patient zero, the beginning of the disease. Okay, and certain things that she was doing even then, okay, that were definitely causing a lot of harm and stuff. And see, this is kind of the stuff that we're kind of talking about here. Is definitely that, take, getting vulnerable people, these things that happen. And of course, this woman had situations with attempts at, you know, unalive, there was, and everything, going through her various trauma, eating disorders, and various things that she was definitely struggling with. And there's a lot of pain and stuff. But I'm very glad there's a PhD, the one man and stuff. I have to get his name. I'm sorry, guys, but it's in the video. That's kind of there to kind of, talk about the story, but in a good safe space and stuff. But yet, I know she feels she needs to get her story out there, and how, important it is and everything. But there's certain, things, especially the idea, and I've definitely been talking about this, the importance of it. A lot of people are concerned of a very you know, kind of casual view of, you know, unaliving. Okay, that, oh, you could get another life and a reset. And there's even talk to this young lady, you know, when she was a kid. Oh, well, maybe if we really kind of, you know, set intent, we could unalive, and then we could be born together. We could reincarnate, where, you know, and that kind of thing. And it's like, oh shit, man, you know, it's it so, you know, it's you know, and it's very scary that she kind of seeks out or tries to open the door for people that are vulnerable like that. Oh yes, I can save them, I can, you know, and all that stuff, and take them on. Okay, and stuff that, you know, what great power that I'm this healer, you know, but we may be traumatizing them more, only to heal them from that. Okay, you know, it's like, damn, you know, what a vicious cycle and stuff. And of course, I know so many good healers and spiritualists that have helped people. You know, over the years, I've met so many wonderful people that actually help people, you know, get them past points that were very hard for them and stuff, that they were able to do that. But I also want to state, in a sense, the people, the good people that I've known in past, they also knew not to go into certain areas that require a therapist. So say for instance somebody does have a therapist. Say if there's, you know, a mental illness or certain things or trauma, they see a therapist, but then they may come to that spiritualist for some good Reiki and a little bit assistant, just kind of talk it, you know, talk about the spirit and everything, working in a good, still positive, light way. So it's almost like still getting the good, you know, the medical, okay, things, but then the spiritualist can kind of help with certain areas, you know, to give them kind of a good spirit. You know, the combination can be a positive thing, I guess, is what I'm trying to say and stuff. But obviously, no, you know, with certain things that are, like I said, very deep, very heavy type, you know, stuff, okay, and stuff, you know, of course, us spiritualists, we want to help heal all that air, you know, all those things, you know, but there, you know, there are certain challenges, and many have limitations to how far they can go to be able to help reach people, and we have to be able to acknowledge that and so forth, especially leading to the spirit, and getting them, you know, that good self-love, and feeling good about themselves in their skin and everything. We definitely want that. We want them to find the light and stuff. And that was even in one of, like, the readings, you know, I was kind of doing today with someone, you know, that star card, you know, when I talk about that, the, you know, that light, you know, that shines in the darkness. We go through those dark periods, keep the eye on the star, keep the eye on the light. That's the most important thing. Never lose sight of it. Never lose sight of it. Okay, and stuff. No matter what, we got to do that and everything. So you know, a spiritual, you know, obviously working with somebody, you know, say a Reiki, a healer, or even just a good spiritual confidant that is very good, caring and empathic and helpful. Maybe they could give a good reading, or certain things, you know, combined with something like that, they can work together in unison together and stuff. Now, I know the one, the doctor, the PhD. I know, I'm sure how he feels about people who have, you know, psychic abilities and things like that. I understand, you know, that people can be, you know, wield, you know, superpowers and everything. But a lot of, you know, people that do have maybe psychic or can read or divine, or what we kind of do and stuff, we're not necessarily even seeing that it's a big deal. We're just kind of used to this in our life. You know, it's just like breathing. You know, and to me, it's something that everybody possesses to a degree and stuff, and just, it has the ability to expand. We all have the ability to work on our intuition, to expand it, to be able to use it. It's all in there, and that's one of the things I especially try to encourage you guys and stuff, you know, that it's in you, that you have the ability. Now, sometimes it's good to kind of, like, I like to sit with a reader once in a while, you know, just have, you know, have a session, you know, with the reader, because sometimes it's just good to get a different perspective, you know, other than my own. Maybe just kind of you know, check myself, hear a message and everything. I do that too and stuff. You know, I do that too. I don't have to be the end all authority. It's good to always come in, you know, and sit with somebody else and have a different perspective and stuff like that. So, but yes, let's talk. Let's get into the duck. Let's get into the nitty gritty and stuff, because I know it's traumatizing. I feel a lot of people are kind of traumatized and shaken by this documentary. Okay, like I said, certain things come into the surface, and everything like that, and it's, man. But let me tell you one of the things that kind of shook me, that this is about the point where I said I need to get up now. Okay, so there's a whole thing she talks about, the whole story with various things with Teal that were traumatizing. There's certain things with her interactions and things she said put her on the edge, right? And so there's a whole thing you guys can watch. Except, but okay, so apparently there was a few years in between she hadn't seen her, hadn't interacted with her. They kind of broke apart because apparently Teal had written some letter to her family. It's like she's all involved messing with this poor young lady. Okay, so she'll talk about it. But after a few years, they bump into each other in a park. They're almost does feel this weird kind of connection thing, definitely. There definitely has to be some kind of spiritual connection there. I know she would not want to hear that, but I do definitely feel something there because she was definitely meant to come out, with this story. Okay, I definitely feel that. I definitely feel that. But one thing, she was kind of saying, she was in a park, she has her child, she meets Teal, Teal has a child. They kind of sit there and have a little discussion, oh wow, we're all grown up, we got kids, this, that, and everything. Hey, let's reconnect, and then they decided to exchange information. So shortly after that, either that night or the next day, okay, and she had already been on the verge, and Teal kind of had her on the edge many, many times, okay, with certain things she was saying and do, which, like I said, it's all in there. Except, but then she apparently sends her an email, okay, that ended up, that this woman was doing good and she was getting into a better place and stuff. And this email is the one that details, what she feels is her story. A lot, like I said, probably from this psychologist, this therapist that work with her, okay, with all kinds of supposed repressed memories of the satanic abuse and all that stuff that we've heard about. But apparently went into very graphic detail, dead children and all these things. I'm trying to be very careful on YouTube. Just very graphic, horrible things. But she was also saying that she was involved in it. Okay, that she was part of it and she remembers her being there and things like that. So there's this whole thing there. Just one email was like, it was like, when we talk about, say triggers, when it comes to mental illness, this was a big trigger for this poor woman. And so this put her, but she did show apparently the email to her therapist, and the therapist kind of, it started kind of diagnosing this is a person with some serious, issues and stuff like that. It gave, certain kind of diagnose what they felt and stuff. They were like, this is improbable. This is improbable. And stuff. But this, so that is of course a concern, that she, okay, Teal, it can be very triggering of people there, and this is something that is definitely coming through. It comes through in the deep end if you watch certain things, really trying to force triggers of people in so many different ways and stuff. Where, if anybody knows in mental health and things like that, the goal is to not be triggered. The goal is to handle triggers. Now, I just want to give you guys an honest assessment, and this is another reason why certain things, these are personal to me. I have no problem telling my story. If my story ever helps you guys, I am totally cool with that. So let me go ahead and talk about me. And so, let's talk about myself, but let's give, this is spirit talk. So, but there are people in the group who know about it. I mentioned a couple of times in, my video, I had a breakdown years ago. Years and years ago, it was a combination of things. I was separated from my ex. I had my little kids. I was trying to raise them. I was working 2 jobs. I did it for over 2 years. I was not getting child support. I was doing about 70 to 80 hours a week. I did for about 2 years. Okay, still trying to manage a home and everything, but because somebody wouldn't pay child support, I had to do that. I had to work double, just to pay the bills. I was definitely struggling. There's so much I gotta say. Okay. So anyway, but I'm also working on my spiritual path and everything. I've got a lot of healing to do, healing for my ex. I got this, I got so much going on my plate and stuff and everything. And then still dealing with, certain things, trying to educate myself, in everything, contend with even some abilities, visions, all kinds of good stuff, right? So, but one of the things that happened is, I'm not going to get into total detail all that happened because it's so crazy, whatever. But I snapped one day. One day I just snapped. And I'm not even sure exactly what did it because very much of the day is very blurry for me. Okay, except but it was definitely psychosis. Okay, it was definitely psychosis. 100%, I know that. Okay, so this definitely threw me, and this is why I also, with people, because I've been there, guys. Okay, and stuff like that. Just even going through my own, healing process, work, and I've worked so hard. I've worked so hard, but I also know what could happen if that happens. Okay, and stuff, and how scary that can be, because there's okay, there is, a psychosis is just when nothing is real. Okay, it's just nothing, and all these kind of crazy things happen and stuff. It's incredibly shocking to the senses, when it happens. But people can, the mind can just, snap. I feel a lot of it was the combination of being under pressure with my work, okay, working and working so incredibly hard that I was just exhausted, okay, and stuff, and under so much stress and so many things. And then also, just even working on my own spirituality and stuff, that everything just went like this, okay, and it just, okay. So, yep, I had to go to the hospital and all that stuff. And I did get diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Now, I just want to say it, and I want to be very careful. I want to be very careful what I say here, okay? Because don't necessarily do what I've done, because it may not be for you. But I will share my story on this, okay? But there have been times, because I'm a spiritualist and things like that, that I have questioned maybe my diagnosis, okay, that maybe it's not necessarily all as much that's me, okay, but maybe I had more of kind of a spiritual kind of crisis, and this, and maybe doctors can't necessarily explain what happened, okay. This is not, your mileage may vary. If you've been diagnosed, it's up, stay on your meds, okay. I just want to say that, okay, except unless you work with a doctor and everything, which is what I did, okay, and I'll explain where I'm at right now. Okay, so many years, definitely I did the medication and everything like that. Of course worked my cocktails. But there was a lot of stuff, like say when I was in the hospital, and everything like that. Like I remember the lady who was going to check me out, I needed to go back to work, for example. She only wanted me to approve me for part-time work. And I said, excuse me, I definitely couldn't do two jobs anymore. Okay, I wasn't allowed. But I said, excuse me, I go, you can't do that. I said, if I could only go back to work part-time, I won't survive. I won't be able to pay my rent. I won't be able to buy food. I won't be able to do nothing. Okay, so you want me to get well, but if you do that, you're going to throw me into an even more stressful situation, my friend. Okay, you can't do that to me. So she approved me for full time and stuff like that. Luckily, and stuff. But I had to go through a whole process, a whole healing process, therapy and things like that. On top of it, my kids went to live with their dad, because of the situation, because I had work, and I had to, it's almost like going right into the abyss, and I had to pull myself out. So I know especially what madness looks like. Okay, I know what madness looks like, and what it can do to you. Okay, and that's why I don't wish any of that it ever happened to anything. And I understand vulnerable people. I've been a vulnerable person. Okay, I so so anyway, with the process, just working for years, getting with the right cocktail, this that. But what I did, of course, okay, is also work on the spiritual path, doing very simple things, mindfulness and meditation, and I work. Thank God I had my teach, because he was very helpful for me. But I realized this is a time, that no matter what, it's time to really buckle down and focus on self, and get to work. And I got to figure out what works here and stuff. But I was very, very determined and stuff to stabilize the core, which is one of the things we kind of talk about. We would talk about, I need a stable core, okay, and stuff. But anyway, so to also discuss, so see, I know a lot about mental health because I've been there, okay? I have been there. I understand what it's like. So I come from a lot different perspective, than maybe somebody who has not been diagnosed or things like that. So I completely empathize with anybody and stuff. So I know how to talk to and relate to people because I've been there. I understand. Okay, let me take a sip of coffee because I got so much to say. But yes, so go through the healing process was not an easy process and stuff, but really, a lot of it is just really, for me, was just aiming for stability. I didn't care about having those superpowers, to be honest. Okay, I didn't care about all that, oh, I'm gonna evolve, evolution, all that good stuff. I just wanted to be stable. I knew I just got to aim for a stable core and stuff and be able to manage my life. There was something that I've taught many people, and I learned this lesson, okay? And the reason why I say it is because I've been there, okay? And stuff, just like we talk about the shaman, they must keep one foot in each world, the physical world and the spiritual world, at all times. Okay, if you raise up the foot off the physical and you go straight into only spiritual stuff, you could lose your way. You could actually go mad. Okay, and stuff. So we don't want to lift that foot up. We always want to keep that foot grounded in the physical too. We got to deal with certain things that are real. We also, as spiritualists, have come here to have a human experience. Okay, the human experience is important. It's not easy. It's tough, but we got to keep one foot in that world and stuff, and still work on our spiritual stuff. But of course, if we have no kind of spiritual life, and I know atheist agnostics, you can argue, but for most, my understanding, there's some kind of spiritual connection, like something, okay, and everything, like even really the atheists, if they're connected to the universe, great, okay, that kind of thing, some kind of connection, some kind of spirit, some kind of soul and everything. If they don't have that, life can seem very meaningless and empty. Okay, so we want to have one foot in each world at all times. It is very important to have. We got to be very grounded and very mentally sane here. And stability, sobriety is so incredibly important on the path, especially to me. Okay, because I've been there. I've been nice, sober, healed. Like I'm in a good position now. And I've also been there. I've been on the other side of that. And of course, I've gone through certain things in childhood and trauma and things like that were very, very difficult to deal with. Okay. But I also know how fragile the mind can be. I said it can be powerful and it can be fragile at the same time. That's the crazy thing. And so but I also know the power of the spiritual path and what, say, like with mindfulness and meditation. I learned a lot from Buddhism and studying and reading the Buddhist words. I just drunk it in, various things. Other great minds that I absorbed, Ashita Krishnamurti and various things. Bruce Lee is really one of my heroes and stuff, the power of mind, that if I could strengthen the mind and everything like that, and redo, the wiring, I knew it could be done. Okay, and stuff. So, a lot of that, and another thing, and that's why I always encourage people, journal, write, or maybe have a little safe space on the web or something like that, and just get out, get out your experiences. Even if it's your daily thing, just journaling every day, even the most mundane things can have importance in getting it out and getting it out daily. One of the big things, when certain experiences have, or if you have certain dreams, just getting it out. And even in the Toltec path, a lot of a thing we call is recapitulation and stuff, to be able to kind of write out, as many experiences, memories as you got and stuff. It is a big thing. And that was one of the things that was kind of my recapitulation moment, you could say, just trying to get out certain things that, certain memories, remember things like that, but also things just going on about my day and stuff. Like I said, even the most simplest gains, and stuff, little simple positive gains, that I could possibly have, I would put on there and stuff like that, and just progressing over time and stuff. But right now, where I'm at, just to say, and like I said, this is why it's not for you, and I'm not suggesting it for you, but I'm med free, and I just did this not that long ago, it really not that long ago, but a lot of it, I do feel that I was able to get myself to a place. I'm not having highs or lows, but I've been in remission for years. So a couple of things here. One, it may be that I know they say bipolar does not have a cure. Did I heal myself? Did I heal myself and I don't need it? And so I needed to, for my own healing process, kind of go through this test, for Big Pharma, to be able to see for myself. Because I've been off for quite some time now. In the sense that maybe it wasn't just as much that diagnosis as some kind of spiritual crisis. Okay, see what I'm saying? But I also, have to be, just be very, very careful, with stuff. And I just really monitor myself and things like that. So if anything, if I ever got in some weird, danger zone, yes, I'm going to call a doc. That's what I'll do. Okay, that is my process. I don't necessarily do exactly what I do here, but it's a little bit of my journey. I just want to share with you, kind of a little bit of where I've been, a little what I've gone through, and stuff, and a little bit of here I am, and I live to tell the tale, okay, and stuff where I'm at. And so, but that's something I kind of had to test. Maybe it was more. I was definitely some kind of psychosis what I went through, but just a nervous breakdown that I had. Everything just snapped. A nervous breakdown, and stuff, and just kind of coming up and everything, and going through that. But that's why that's why I explain to you guys, and stuff, that the spiritual path can help you. There are so many beautiful things on it, and has value in connecting to spirit, guides, angels, all that good stuff, and everything can be a positive for people. I've seen the beauty of it. I've experienced it and stuff. And to be, and like I said, to feel good in my skin and stuff, and be in a happy place and at peace and so forth, that I don't stress about certain things the way I used to, and stuff like that. I mean, certain things could, oh my God, I'm so stressed. Oh my God, and everything. And I'm not gonna say I don't have a panic attack once in a while. There are sometimes, especially if I got to drive in the snow. Oh my God, and stuff. But for the most part, I'm pretty chill and stuff like that. But there, I know it can't happen. Sometimes get real worried about something. So, but I wanted to give a real honest assessment, of some things I've kind of been through and stuff. And so that's why I understand, okay, with certain things, the vulnerability of people, because I've been that vulnerable person. Okay. I've been that person, just like so many, who is like, certain woundedness, sadness, depression, you know, and even, yes, even, to the point where the darkness is so strong, you feel like, okay, I'm trying to be very cool, that I've had those moments of those thoughts. Absolutely. Okay. But there's always something that said no. Okay. Certain things like that, that always, thank God I'm still here. Okay. So I understand that, because I've been that, even that young, vulnerable person and things like that, really looking for God answers, spirit in everything, doing my prayers, please help me, all that stuff. I have been there. I have been on my knees. I have been on my knees begging for spirit to help. Okay. I know what it's like to be that at that point. Okay. I know what it's like to also kind of surrender, and say, just take over and stuff, lead me in the right direction. Okay. I understand that, and how to be at that moment where just everything is just despair and stuff. But you always want to keep your eyes on the light, guys, no matter what, in those moments. Okay, no matter what. And so I could almost cry right now just thinking of just the way it is, the emotion, because I know it, not just even my own experiences, having those moments, but other people also. I know somebody all over, and stuff, having those moments and what it's like and everything, and believe me, and in those moments, I know it is very hard and stuff, but spirit is always there, and spirit wants people to go on and make it, and they're really trying and stuff. And I know it can be, it is so frustrating. I know a lot of people are out there, and stuff. It's like why did this bad thing happen to me? Why did this trauma happen? Why did this abuse happen to me? All those things. And stuff. Why did God let this happen? I know, honey. And stuff. For many people who have those questions, and self, it is a very challenging thing. It's not that spirit is definitely letting. Okay, I don't want you to necessarily think that and stuff. But we're on this 3D earth, and there's a lot of free will universes, or things that are going on and stuff and everything. Try not to be triggery here, Bob, and be careful. But there are people that I've read for, and I try not to go into those areas too far. But there's been a couple times, with some people that we had a connection that we could go into other areas that are more difficult. But there are cases like some people that have gone through very traumatic abuse situations that have gone out of body. And the reason why is there are cases that the spirit has actually pulled people out of body. I don't know if anybody's ever experienced, so they don't have to experience something. Okay, there's so many different things, and I know and it's like, I know I ask the same question as you guys do at times with spirit. When I see certain things happening, why is it not stopped? Why is it not this? I do the same thing as you guys. I sometimes will have to sit with that. I know you're there. I know you're wonderful. I know you're loving and everything like that. And I know one day when we cross over, we'll get our answers. I know it in my heart. I know you're good. I know you're wholly good. But, there are moments, that I can be just like you guys and stuff. I will sit here and stuff, and I feel like I'm getting teary eyed that I will sit here and I will question, make this stop. I get frustrated just like you and stuff. It's real hard because I know the spirit is loving and stuff. I know they are and stuff. But it's hard. It's a very hard thing. But I no, I don't. I don't have an easy answer. At times why spirit doesn't stop those things and stuff. It's a very hard thing to deal with and stuff. But I do know that they're there, and they want us to get to the light, and they want us to heal. They just want the whole damn world healing, and I definitely feel that and stuff. But we've got this free will universe, and it's frustrating. Sometimes I wish it didn't. Sometimes I wish it wasn't a free will thing and stuff. But we are living in a very tough world and stuff with certain lessons. But we do have the capability. Everybody has the capability to heal. We can do it. Okay, and stuff. I know it's super hard, and I know it's traumatizing, but we can heal and stuff. So there's a lot of discussion I want to talk about it. I know this is gonna be a long one, so I'm just gonna put it out for anybody who wants to hear. So anyway, with what is happening, that's why I wanted to kind of give a little bit of perspective of just a little bit of my background for those who may not know it. I've talked about in the group over time in the past and everything, and stuff. And, it's very delicate. So yes, as I know, how delicate and how vulnerable we can be in certain things, in the wrong hands, someone's mind, it can be, it's almost like fertile soil and everything, and plant and everything, and what it could do and what it could do to people and so forth, and that manipulation. And that's why I encourage you guys. I was like, you gotta see this video, man. But be careful. If you are easily triggered, then maybe with a caveat. Okay, I just and I know he warns about certain things, but those who really want to see what happened and get to understand and stuff, the person and stuff, that is going to tell you a lot. That is going to tell you a lot. And you can't, take that interview that is on that video, okay, and say, well, there's a splice dice, make it look like this. It can't happen and stuff. And you could definitely see that this woman's being honest and stuff. This woman is in tears. This is a real raw, what she has been through journey and stuff. And it couldn't have been easy and stuff like that. And I feel it's still, she's so shaken, and she's so very afraid of her. Okay, she's so very afraid of her. And I feel a lot of that just to think the power that someone could trigger you like that and throw you into darkness like that and stuff is a really scary thing. And so like I said, I still want to say, like, there's, it's like I feel she feels in her mind, whatever Teal Swan has convinced herself that she is a healer and she is helping people, that she really wants to be that authority and so forth, and everything like that. Okay, I feel she's convinced herself of it, that she feels that way, and I feel she, helping people and stuff there, but it's more, what to fulfill ego and stuff, to be validated. Okay, it's a superpower, as is what she wants to present herself to be, but she's harmful. Okay, she's harmful. That's just straight up true. You see it right there. And stuff. And I know there are people she's helped me. I know that. I know that. And stuff, that there are those out there. And like I said, if somebody did get help, great, fantastic, and so forth. But I still, when people get further and further into certain things, okay, it's going, they're going to go into areas that they're going to fall into another hole and see what it's really about. Okay, and it is a very scary thing. It is that somebody has some real problems. Okay, that is going about, taking on this position, with no real, mentor training experience of their own. Okay, no, where's their mentor, where's their guide, where's this, that, they could guide in a good healthy way and stuff. It's just not there and stuff, and try to come off as the authority and the final answer. Well, if you can't get help from me, then there's nowhere to go, and stuff. That's the crazy thing. Well, there's so many, there's so many other, people that can help, all kinds of therapists, whatever, spiritualists, things like that. Nope, it's all here. If you can't get it with me, you're done. Okay, that's a huge arrogance, and a very scary thing to tell somebody that, especially if, they see her as some kind of avatar, okay, in some way, that, oh, she couldn't help me, then there's nothing I can do. Okay, that kind of thing, that there's no hope for me, and oh my God, there's always we got to walk through I know we got to walk through the fire, and I know it's not easy, except, but we can get through it. We can get through it. Everybody can. Everybody has capacity to heal and stuff. I'm not going to say, that, certain, memories, don't, you can't just completely wipe them out. I know, I wish we could. I wish we could just delete certain things, absolutely. But we could have a different, when we look back at certain memories, can do it from a very detached perspective without being totally shaken, by them, that it can and stuff. And we have the ability to make good memories too. We have the ability to do that. We can rewire the mind. It takes a lot of work. It ain't easy. A lot of sitting in meditation, a lot of quiet moments, that sometimes, okay, I'm going to shut off anything. I'm just going to shut off music, this, that. I'm just going to try to sit here in some silence and quietness. Okay. It's like, and then the mic, it does its talking, but inevitably the thoughts start quieting down. Inevitably that mind stops chattering. And then it's like, oh my God, there's peace. Oh my God, I feel this. I'm at peace here. It's okay. It's okay. And so we could get to that place, and everything like that. We have the ability and stuff. But yeah, I thought really, I just wanted to kind of share a little bit about me, a little bit about, kind of some of the things I've been through. I will tell more stories along the way. I could definitely tell more stories along the way. I met some so amazing, fascinating people on the path that are spiritual, that are amazing. Just like I was telling somebody the other day, I remember I met somebody on the path once that, had the ability to strike lightning. I know you will never believe it, but they could. Okay, I met some people that are, some amazing magical people, that have just, been very inspirational and stuff, and some tripped out people. But I met a lot of nuts. Okay, let's talk about that for a second. And so, one of the things, definitely with the spiritual path and stuff, just we're seeing a little bit of, definitely, what, the grandiose kind of stuff there. I've met a lot of those. I've met a lot of people like that along the way, and stuff. That there's, trying to set themselves in kind of grandiose. They're master of the universe, people Absolutely. I met so many along the way that they've got superpowers and they got this, that, and everything. Which really, like I said, psychic abilities to me feels like a very natural thing, and that, we all have intuition and a lot of people have ability. And so it's just a matter of just kind of opening it up, using it, trusting it. One of the big things is trusting it. It's always speaking, guys. We all got a third eye. We all got a third eye. Okay. But, there are definitely people like certain times if they've got some issues when they've gotten into spirituality, they can get very grandiose and stuff. And make big claims that I've met them, I've seen them and stuff. And just completely off the deep end. Because what there is there's a lot of people that are just completely mad. And that's kind of what I suspect here. This is madness. This is madness. Okay. Really that is going on here. And stuff. And it's, there's so many good discussions, that people are having here, really talk about, especially because the healing journey and how precious it is. But the good thing about it, there's always can be an upside and a good side, guys. Okay. In the sense that, that people can also make some good suggestions of things to go. Like I said, I want to suggest you guys something good. You can heal your life, okay? Kind of get you in a good direction. I know somebody will buy the book. At least one of you guys is gonna get that book, okay? And stuff. There's so many good things out there and stuff like that. Good guides, good things out there. And I hope I hope you feel I'm a good person. I really do try to be. I try to be very honest, real raw with you guys, to the best of my ability. And that's why I wanted to even kind of show, even a little bit of some of my story and my own vulnerability and stuff. As a matter of fact, even with Facebook, I'm on a lot of Facebook groups. My very first Facebook group I ever joined was a bipolar group. That was my very first one where I would kind of talk about certain things like that. That was actually the first one I really, really ever did kind of look into and talk. I began that, at the very beginning. So I was many years ago and stuff. So things have changed. My groups, my groups have definitely changed a lot, and everything. But it's such a difficult thing because I know, certain psychologists, like I said, there are those who can put down the spiritual path, that new age stuff, that weird stuff. But there, if you look at the right areas, there is good stuff. There is good knowledge and stuff. Especially if we go back way back, because some of new age concepts is really just old concepts. Repackaged. Really, it is. Like say Buddhism and Zen and various things. Some of it's just repackaged stuff, and that happens. That happens. But there's a lot of good authors and a lot of good thinkers. That can really get you thinking and stuff. There's a lot of positives. Okay, and stuff. So I don't want, especially with you guys, and one of the big messages if I could give you, and I may do more spirit talks because it's open a can of worms that I can't believe. But don't give up on the spiritual path and don't give up on yourself and everything. I definitely, because I know there's a lot of goodness, on this path, for people that are kind of looking for answers. But I also know your frustration, and I've talked to people many times when these moments hit, like, I'm trying everything. I'm doing the affirmations, I'm balancing my chakras. I've had my Reiki session. Okay. I'm doing everything. I'm quieting my mind and everything. I'm doing yoga. I'm doing this, but nothing's working. I understand that as well. Okay. And stuff. It's just, but don't give up on certain things, and stuff. But also at the same time, say, just kind of like how I'm talking about, like say yoga and various things, and stuff like that, of course, shadow work. We all talk about shadow work. Carl Jung is such, and remember, he's an actual psychologist. Okay. He's got very good things and stuff, writing out those dreams and stuff, writing out your dreams and stuff, getting them out on paper and really looking at them and stuff. But just definitely, but if certain things are feeling kind of like it's not working, this that, I know, because but if you stick with certain things but keep adding some new things in there and so forth, you know and everything, it's a process. But I'll tell you, one of the most powerful, like I said, I'm talking about all this stuff, but even one of the most powerful things you could do is journal, is write. I will tell you, that is one of the most powerful things you could do, is sit down and just write and stuff. That is probably one of the biggest things I did. Okay. It's just each day kind of getting out and out and stuff because it comes out of you and stuff. And then and you don't even have to read it again if you don't want to and stuff. But maybe you'll look back. Maybe you'll look back. 10 years. Okay, let's pull out that journal. Let's see how far I've come. Absolutely, you could do that. But just getting it on paper and stuff can be it. And there will be a lot of tears shed on that paper and stuff. But the more you write out, certain things can be very helpful and stuff. And it really can be just the more and more and more you do it and stuff. Let me take a sip of coffee. So much to talk about. So never give up on it. You never don't give up on it. And stuff. But I do understand that, just like it, this stuff isn't working. I know it can feel like that, and but a lot of it, is really just uncovering and really getting to the true self, the divine self, that spark, who we are, and stuff. Just those simple things, and stuff. But I know a lot of times we get the props, we get this, that, and everything, and then sometimes it's the most simplest little bits of wisdom and then get us through. That's the crazy thing. Like, okay, I've read all these books, I've done this and done that, I've done that, and it's the simplest little wisdom that gets us through. That's the crazy thing. Sometimes that's just that little moment and stuff and everything. You know what I'm going to do before this video? I've been doing this on TikTok. And so, let's see, this is my Conversations with God deck. Now, that's some good books. You should really look. Neale Donald Walsch, really good spirit. I really love his light spirit and stuff. And I know, obviously, Christians, Conversations with God, he's a really good, good spirit. I'm actually on his page and I love the way he writes. It's crazy how so many people will challenge the poor man and stuff. He handles things in such a graceful way. He actually does respond to his followers and stuff, but he's a good soul. I really feel he's a good soul and stuff. I know there's a movie about him. I know I've seen the movie Conversations with God and stuff, just how he was homeless and everything. He just hit rock bottom and everything, and then he's just started writing, and I know it's like when here comes spirit talking. I know what that's like. That's the crazy thing. And then his book, obviously the books became a phenomenon and stuff. They just took over and stuff, and I think he was turned down by a few publishers, and then somebody picked it up, and I bet other people feel real stupid right now, right? They should have listened to God. But yeah, let's kind of sum it up with, I'm very interested. Let's pull what, I don't always pull this deck, with my reads, but I do on TikTok. So let's read what Conversations with God has to say. Your potential is unlimited in all that you've chosen to do. Do not assume that a soul which has incarnated in a body which you call limited has not reached its full potential, for you do not know what the soul was trying to do. So that's, your potential is unlimited. I love that. That's so beautiful. In all that you've chosen to do, do not assume that a soul which is incarnated in a body which you call limited has not reached its full potential. You don't know what it was trying to do. There's all kinds of good stuff. But yeah, I got this from the Spiritualist Church when I went shopping and stuff. You could get a Conversations with God deck. Oh, where's the top? I wish I could show you. But anyway, it's a real good, and all that stuff he wrote. He's a really good soul. Gosh, see, that's the thing. There's so many beautiful light people out there, guys. There's so many beautiful light people out there with so much wisdom. It's crazy. It's almost like all of these authors and people can kind of become your friends. They're like your spirit guides. That's the crazy thing and stuff. They can really be helpful in those moments and times and stuff, to kind of get through the hard parts and stuff. But this all of this and everything is a real good lesson. Like I said, it's opened a lot of conversations and stuff like that. It's got a lot of people talking, and in that thing, that's actually a good thing, and so people share their stories and what they've kind of been through, and things like that on the path and stuff. And I'm more than happy to share mine and everything, kind of talk about, where I've come from and everything, and where I'm kind of feeling today and stuff like that. So, that's why I feel like, I'm ready to guide. I whatever reason spirit was like, let's do it, and everything. And, I was very reluctant. Should I even be guiding people and stuff? But apparently, when the messages come, then it's just like, and stuff. And it can be an amazing, it's been amazing. And I've learned so much, especially for even the people I've read for. I've learned so many things, even about myself, even about them, even about soul, spirit, humanity, God, source, everything. It's just an amazing educational experience. The journey is just it can be a beautiful and amazing thing for you guys. Okay. And so, like I said, check it out. Make sure, unless you feel that you can't handle that kind of stuff, of course, I do want to give a caveat on that. But if you're really kind of wanting to know about, the certain things about what's been happening, with Teal Swan, the deep end, and all this stuff, in the bazaar, that video is just, it's an incredible thing. I'm going to finish up the last, I think I only have 20 minutes left of it and stuff, but I finally had to get up. After she said, that email was sent to her, I just went, what is this woman trying to do, this poor lady? But it does almost feel like she was her guinea pig, like she was her first, experiment. It feels it's a very strange thing here with this poor woman. So it's very, I'm very blessed, and I'm very thankful that she's come to tell her story, because that has got to be, out of all the, I would say, out of all the little videos I've seen of different people talking, and everybody's story is important and stuff. Though I could tell a few maybe like the, I don't really care an ex-boyfriend what they say, but this woman has a very powerful story to tell. It's incredibly powerful, and stuff like that. But people need to hear that, especially anybody who is following her, thinking about following her, questioning anything and stuff, needs to hear that and stuff. And the doctor also gives some real good tidbits on the history of, certain things with repressed memory and all that stuff, and definitely even the satanic panic in the back of the day and stuff, and what that did. Because like I said, when people talk about, little people with horns, this, that, in the forest and doing all that stuff, no, it's actually a lot of what's really happening, is these people wear robes. Okay, they read from Bibles at the pulpit. They're doing, that's where a lot of these, unfortunately, sadly, a lot of abuses are happening. Okay, and of course in other, areas, places where people can try to get trust and stuff, and everything, which is a sad world, and very frustrating for anybody who is really looking for spirit guidance, God, all that good stuff. It is very, very challenging and stuff. But I hope you found this enlightening. I was glad to share my little story. Check the video out. It's very, very enlightening.